What's up, y'all? What the fuck's going on, man? Seriously. I mean, this next guest that we have coming on, I first found Dr. Andrea Martin on the Jeff Mara podcast. And you guys know how we are here at the One Podcast. We're going where no other podcast has gone before. Always scathing through the internet, off the internet, trying to find you all the best content. As a community of truth seekers, this is one of the things that we see as our duty to do, is to find out what the truth is, or where the truth is, what the truth is, and bring it to you. So I don't want to go into too much detail. I don't want to say too much. I want you guys to be able to come into this information on your own. But as you know, we've always talked about, is Earth a prison? Is Earth a school? What is it? And so I first heard Andrea Martin come in with this different perspective on it. And you let me know if it resonates with you. As you guys know, we understand that our thoughts create reality. And so we're always projecting our thoughts to create the reality that we see. It doesn't matter what anybody else tells us. We know there's various timeline realities. So we can't thank you enough than to create the reality for us where we become one of the fastest growing podcasts out there right now. ChatGPT says we're in the top 1%. We just turned 3 months right now, as you guys know, and we're already over 1,000 subscribers. So that's all because of you. You guys liking, commenting, sharing. Even when you guys are just putting an emoji inside the comments, you guys are game changers with that, because that's causing the algorithm to allow others that are just like you to find this content and to be able to resonate with it as well. So we can't thank you enough. We can't tell you we love you enough and that we're here because of you. And we have so much more to bring to you. In fact, tomorrow morning, we're actually interviewing the Illuminati. Yeah. Tell me about it. This was not on my bucket list. This was not anything I ever thought I'd be doing as somebody who was a former Christian, former churchgoer, believer, spreading the word of Jesus Christ. This has all changed since the whole Sean Ryan, McMahon-Eagle, CIA declassification of Stargate. So I don't want to take up too much of your guys' times, but I do want to tell you I love you again. We love you again. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts to the top of our hearts. Thank you for subscribing. We are one. What are you guys doing? Go watch the show. How are we doing?
Excited?
Yeah, I'm super excited, man.
Yeah, this is,
Dr. Martin in the house. Wow,
yeah.
man.
And I really do like her personality too,
Yeah, like I
so
said, very lively, very authoritative, confident, just, confident in this discussion that we're going to have as well.
yeah, exactly. And she has so many interesting things.
I know. It's
I
like,
feel
where do you
like
start?
yeah, that people really, I feel like it's gonna really have a great experience watching, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, man.
Yeah, me too, honestly. I feel like it's gonna be very, very interesting. It's a lot of great stuff. Like just her story alone is very interesting. I'm very interesting to go into those areas.
Yeah, and she has nearly 40,000 subscribers too to her channel, so
Really?
people know her.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
hmm Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. People know her and her husband.
Yeah, Eeka.
Eeka, yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah. It's like we thought we were doing a long distance relationship. That's on a whole
Yeah,
other level, man.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's a really good point right there.
Yeah. It's a Jatala.
Yeah, that's a really good point, honestly.
Yeah.
And she does a great job, honestly, with just,
Man, I'm excited. That's all I
yeah,
know.
very interesting. Like you shared it to me, you sent it to me, and as I'm like just rewatch some of her things again, I'm like, wow, like she really does see and just like know just a lot of different things. And her
Mm-hmm.
perspective and view is very unique, but in a good way.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this is always the exciting part right here. When you're just like being so excited, waited this whole time to talk to her or talk to a guest. And this is the moment where you're just exciting and waiting in the room, waiting for the guest to join. And you have just so many questions to ask the guest. And like, as we always talk about in the post interview part, once we end the conversation, with the guest is always like, wow, I had so many questions I did not have time to ask because you also
Yeah,
want to be respectful of the guest time. So we usually do an hour, but we also just go with the flow
yeah,
in the room. So, but there's so many questions. It just naturally comes to my mind when I'm watching her talk. And
yeah.
she has a very big community as well.
So exciting. We're so excited. We're here 15 minutes early.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
it's just
man.
exciting to see our growing a family community,
I know,
you know?
man. It's
So
like we're literally right on the edge and the nose of having 1,000 subscribers.
yeah, and we just celebrated what?
500, 400,
500, 400, yeah, 400,
600,
500, yeah.
you
And then we
know,
had what right now? Eight,
uh, 8
800 and
something.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. And it's
So,
great to see the growing family just like being interested in this type of like it's just great to see just fellow minds,
yeah.
more awakened people, just people
Yeah.
that are they're interested in just learning about this space too as
Yeah,
well.
more enthusiastic people, people who are just questioning, man. And this is
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons why I'm so excited about having Dr. Andrea Martin right now is because she's been one of those people that have asked the questions that I almost feel like I've been asking,
Yeah.
bringing to the surface these things. It's just a lot of different stuff, man. It's like, as you guys know, we're a community of truth seekers. And we just came into our awakening last year on a very high level. And so I just got a lot of questions. And I feel like Dr. Andrea Martin is a place to share these questions. There's sometimes
Yeah.
people that are on one side of the road of this is a school, this is a prison,
Yeah. I know you were so excited to ask those type of questions too.
Yeah, and like there's so many other questions too when I've listened to her speak on other subjects, and it's like, yeah, I really just am interested in bouncing these things off of her because
Yeah.
she seems just very like-minded, and
Mm-hmm.
as you guys know with us, as a community of truth seekers, we're not tied to any one truth at all. We just want what is the truth.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
if our belief system is having us believing this, and the truth is there, we'll drop all of this stuff just to go where the truth is. So,
Mm-hmm.
we're not tied to anything other than the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
We're grateful to be able to share this same space, this same level of thinking with you all, and to know that we're just 2 months of age right now, and we have over 800 subscribers right now, nearly 1,000 subscribers. It just shows us that you all are vibrating on the same frequency, the same level that we are, and we couldn't be more enthusiastic and pleased to just have you as part of our family. So, as we say all the time, we love you, we are one, and we can't wait to get started with this one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so excited. I'm so excited
Yeah.
to just ask questions about like you
hmm
talked about the planet, school, prison
Yeah.
planet, and
hmm
also like she literally just sees UFOs.
I know. She's got footage, you guys, of like recording
Yeah,
these UFOs. So this isn't like, she's like saying that she sees it. She's like pulling stuff up.
showing proof. Yeah.
Yeah, showing
Mm-hmm.
proof. Like, see, that's one right there. See, that's one right
Yeah.
there. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I also frequently see UFOs, but I don't feel
Yeah.
like I see them as frequently as Dr. Martin has seen them. But this is going to be very, very exciting to
Yeah,
discuss these things
exactly.
with her. She may
Yes.
pull it up on this show because we already know her, our community. I'm not necessarily so focused on asking her to show proof and
Yeah.
evidence. We know that we're not alone.
Yeah,
This
exactly. And she already
community,
showed proof,
yeah,
on podcasts and
yeah,
stuff.
specifically the Jeff Mara podcast.
Yeah.
If you guys
Mm-hmm.
didn't check that out, go ahead and check out the Jeff Mara
Yeah,
podcast.
exactly.
Yeah, we'll also make sure to put that in the description for you guys to check that out in case you guys have never heard of Dr. Andrea Martin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I didn't even hear about her until you shared it with me. You're
hmm
always
Yeah.
just consuming so
hmm
much content and
Yeah,
finding
exactly.
interesting things and people, and it's just great to just have this platform
hmm
to be able to invite guests and guests that are interested in coming here and sharing.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why we also talk about be a part of this, co-create with us.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you want to start your own podcast, if you want to just
Hmm.
express yourself, all these
Yeah.
different things.
So we go in that meditative space, bringing the
Yes.
air in, bringing the frequency around us in, inviting, embracing the spirit of energy, of positivity, of love, harmony, bringing the sound, bringing the smell, bringing these frequencies in, hosting the environment for our wonderful top guests, Dr. Andrea Martin and her husband Eeka.
Hmm.
We invite them into this space that they would feel comfortable, feel relaxed, feel welcomed, feel loved. That our viewers, those viewing this, would be blessed, that our subscribers would be incredibly and blessed for supporting and aligning with our frequency. That is, freely we receive, freely we give.
Hmm.
That all those that are subscribed continuously receive over and over abundance. That as we continue to bless them and pray for them, that they receive much more than we ask and imagine for them continuously, as they remain aligned with our frequency as one. That it's not just another channel, it's not just another subscription for them, that it's a unified diversity, a unity, a new earth change, transformation that has taken place, that we are here now, that we speak fire into their hearts, fire into their passions, that they would continue to burn with desire, burn with excitement, burn with love, with a fire that cannot be put out, that they would be led by their hearts, they would listen to their hearts. We speak high, high levels of love, high levels of consciousness, radiance, peace, love, joy, and bliss, that we would express more today and going forward, that this be a welcome conversation, that this would be a life-changing conversation, this would be an informative insight for so many people. We just bless our top guests, bless our viewers, bless our subscribers, Patreon members that are here with us now. Overabundantly bless them. All of our premium members, our OF members,
Hmm.
our YouTube premium members. So thankful, so thankful. Sending out love and gratitude. Thanks. Breathing the air into our body, going into that one breath that we know, that we love. Changing this world, transforming this world with our one breath, through our one life, through our parallel lives. Continue to enhance, continue to use us, continue to speak through us. We are living in our highest reality that serves our highest and greatest good every day from here forward. So it is.
So it is. Okay.
Yeah, let's go. This fresh air feels so great right here, but I'm like, I don't want no cars to be like, "Blah, blah, blah,"
Yeah, you
living
can
in
hear.
West Hollywood, man, living in West Hollywood, you don't know.
Yeah, like you can hear the traffic.
Yeah, living downtown.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, she talked us about so many things. Make sure to watch her on YouTube and subscribe
Hmm.
to her YouTube channel as well. And she also teach people. Um, I think she does, right? She does teach people or help people telepath. I mean, she telepaths professionally for people. That's what I meant.
Mm. That's good. I didn't know. So that's something we could talk to her about.
Yeah.
Telepathically communicates.
Yeah. So I think she talked about like if people want to say talk to their past member
Hmm.
or family
Yeah.
members, or
Hmm.
she also teach people how to do that, you know.
Great. Yeah. So that's some great stuff to
But
know.
that's great stuff to like also have her um talk about, you know,
Hmm.
as well. Because she really talked about her community, you know, things
Hmm.
that they discuss, and her helping people. Yeah. So her talking to her, like she's literally in a relationship,
Yeah.
right, with a non-human,
I mean, we have to ask those questions, but my understanding, yeah, you know.
right? Because I was literally asking as I was watching some of her stuff, I was
Yeah.
asking, you know, how you have questions come to your mind as you're watching
Yeah.
something,
Hmm.
and it's literally being answered as well. So I'm like, how does that relationship work like this? And like, she's like, he's literally with me everywhere. You
Hmm.
know, when she goes shopping, when she does this, sitting right
Hmm.
here, you know, that's why I'm also
Hmm.
excited to bring him, like his
Yeah.
energy into this
Hmm.
space. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that her like channeling?
About to figure it all out.
I know I have so many questions. I can't even.
Hmm.
Very interesting. And that's what typically happens too. Is like Reginald, he finds these amazing people too. And he
Yeah.
has shared those people like with me for a long time, like since last
Hmm.
year. And it's like, watch this, watch that, you know, just so many different people. Very interesting people like we really are interested in, and like just wanting to like know more about, talk to
Hmm.
them more, you
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
And I just feel like just having like watch like it like, back when I was working in the factory, I was already listening to channelers, you know, and I'm just sitting and talking to them today.
Yeah. It's amazing. Amazing,
Okay.
amazing, amazing. Yeah.
So
Any moment.
I was just talking about this moment too. This is
Yeah.
just a crazy moment.
That was your moment.
I like the profile
Yeah.
picture.
All right. Well, hello, guys. Great to finally meet
Hey.
you in person. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
welcome.
we've been so excited for this one, man. I've been like, how can I fast forward time
okay.
to get to this point? And man,
I hope I don't disappoint.
no, no,
Yeah.
definitely. We're not having any expectations of that, man. Your content has been fire, and you've already got nearly what 40,000 subscribers of people that, you know, are aligned with what you're saying. So you definitely are far from a disappointment already. So thank you so much.
Well, I don't know. I think I might have disappointed upstairs because my numbers haven't budged in months. So
Oh.
we were talking about that because Kevin Luengo, well, he wasn't. He shares information, and he was talking about how you can watch sort of the analytics. And so I want to actually show that with mine because before James Rink passed away, James Rink was mentioning that to me. He says, his numbers haven't budged in like six
Wow.
months. And that's what
Wow.
they do actually. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. I'm like, same for me. And not 6 months, I said, but but mine haven't been moving either. And I want to look at the analytics and I want to see if it crashed the minute I quit from working with the Galactic Federation. So.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that you quit working with the Galactic Federation. This
Yeah.
is
Well, yeah, I
nice.
quit months ago and my husband quit, so we both quit together. So,
Wow.
Oh,
And
wow.
was Eka working with the Galactic Federation?
oh yeah,
Like was that because I know he was working like in like the military service or
yeah,
something. Was
yeah,
that directly he was doing?
yeah. So there is many federations and people misunderstand, and it's easy because we don't get any information. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
what's going on because
exactly.
no one's giving us any information.
Exactly.
You just get people getting channel messages from their goats and neighbors and all that stuff, and it's like that ain't well, that's so wild. You're like the heck, because none of it.
Yeah.
We're not seeing anything happening on the street. So when I left to become an envoy, when I was going to walk in, he joined a federation
Mm.
that a lot of the Pleiadians, yeah, hell particularly, joined, and he joined a military wing because he's not a military guy; he's actually a salesman. So so
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
it was uphill both ways for him. So in order for him to get closer to Earth, because he had been working there for, oh my God, let me see. So I do my math. Wait a minute. So he was there probably for like 30 years.
Wow.
Mm.
Upstairs. And then
Mm-hmm.
they started to make arrangements with the different militaries down here. And he does a special forces. So he was in the United States Air Force Special Forces. So they would meet. And of course, the military and the politicians have been working upstairs, forever.
For
So
a while, yeah.
they made a deal with them. They had to sign papers, blah, blah, that they'll get some of their military, they're like mercenaries basically, to work down here as special forces. And that's what he did. So it was
Wow.
interesting because then after I knew about that, JP came forward talking about it. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew about it before then because I have friends who I was telling this to because I thought Eeka was going to get himself killed. I had no idea that this was an arrangement. I thought he snuck in.
Okay.
Oh.
He never gave me a lot of details, so like I thought he snuck in.
Wow. Yeah, and then we
Wow.
unfortunately just lost James Rink,
Yeah.
and that was, unique. So with leaving the Galactic Federation, that was something that I was gonna wanted to talk to you about too, because my understanding is like the individual that we know as Bashar, is he affiliated with the Galactic Federation that you know?
Know who that is? No,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I know of what you speak, but I don't know who that is.
Okay, okay, great. Because I don't know either. We just recently went through our awakening last
Oh.
year. So there's a lot of that discussion that we've had. Is Earth a school or a prison planet? And I heard you on the Jeff Mara podcast, and you're like it's neither. And then you went really into detail on what it was, and I was just like, wow, this resonates. And there was already just over hundreds of comments under your video with people resonating with the same thing of what you were sharing. So,
Well,
um,
many of your secret space program people,
hmm
they've been there, they've seen it, and
yes,
they're the ones that, if anyone, I mean, I know many of them don't think anything's going to change. They don't see any change happening. I think it's too early to just, say that. I think there's still possibilities, and I think the game is still being played. Um,
yeah,
Mm.
so I always describe it as it's basically it's a farm planet,
hmm
and
hmm
that happened after Atlantis. So when Atlantis fell and they did the reset, then you got the introduction of the Anunnaki and the beings that were here, the ones that survived. They like, yeah, you know what? We could use some mining slaves, and a lot of them like, we could use a little snack food. So it's kind of,
hmm
so that's
yeah,
what it looked like a good idea. So we're not the only planet they do this on. It's on many different planets. So I don't think, Earth, a lot of people look at Earth, we have an opinion of it like we're like little 3-year-olds, we're the center of the universe, but we're not. We're,
hmm
us, it makes sense because we're here, we're boots on the ground Earth. So obviously, mission Earth is where we're working, but there's planets with far worse situations. But I don't know. It's going to be a challenge for sure.
Wow.
yeah,
So
yeah,
how has your life changed since leaving the Galactic Federation?
Better. It's been
Oh, okay.
well. I mean, we're here, but I'm just free, and I know Eeka feels well. He's very because he was really going through a lot of not only the abductions but the torture and being in a military environment like that, particularly here on Earth, was just, it was bad enough in space, but
Wow.
it's just a lack of real human contact and freedom. And he couldn't leave the bases, he would barely have any contact with anyone. And it was, years of really hard slog. So, and of course the violence, I mean, is combat. So
yeah. That's very true. And then what was it that led you guys to leave the Galactic Federation?
yeah, well, I had quit several times, but they kind of like dragged me back in because I'm like, you
Okay.
guys are right. This doesn't. So here's the deal, right? Why did the abductions happen? We could go. I'm not going to go way back to when, like, why did they do this to the Terrans anyway? Why did they regress them? Right,
hmm
which throws out the whole ascension argument because there's no ascension, and the ETs will
hmm
say there's absolutely no such thing as ascension. So what
hmm
happened with the Terrans was that they were regressed. So they were downgraded. They were stripped of almost everything because you don't want your, food, your livestock, your chattel to be that intelligent,
hmm
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
dumb down, take away their, so they all die, maybe Terrans generally live longer than Pleiadians. They're like 800 years.
Wow.
So now you see what they're living is what, maybe 100 at most, or
100 at the most.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
they stripped them all the way down. I mean, you can see, all right, cut their age in half, right? They stripped them all the way down to like, dog years, basically, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Happen. And
Yeah.
so I don't think, to me, blaming a victim, of blaming a colonized group that's been absolutely brutalized for things, it's just insane. I
Mm-hmm.
don't understand that concept. There's nothing. The Terrans are not broken by their own right. They've been broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And that was one of my things too, doctor. I was looking at it like, for somebody who just kind of showed up and I'm like this Sagittarian fire sign.
Fire.
Yeah, I'm a one life path number. So I'm like looking at the thing and I'm just like it just looks like a lot of bullshit on a lot of ways because I'm like, okay, here we are talking about, hey, they're poisoning our air, they're poisoning our water, they're poisoning our food supply, and everybody just kind of seems like they're just kind of chill about it. Like they're like we're very relaxed, and I'm just kind of like here, like we need to be shaking the fucking cage. You know
I
what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like we need to be doing something here. Like so,
Yeah,
I'm always looking like how can we shake the cage in a way peacefully? Like do we need to march on things? Do we, how do we really unify this?
oh,
Because it's a lot of just to me bullshit, but just also just kind of like people are like, yeah, we've been lied to. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like something's wrong.
well, I mean, that's why I tell people. I said, just use your own. Once you start to reason, once you start to put analytical process together, you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't
Hmm.
make sense. That's
Yeah.
what you're talking about there. What you're describing are people who are under V2K, basically. That's the intelligence community. That's their narrative.
Yeah.
A couple of
Mm.
things happened with humanity, and part of it was, and we actually got videos of it from Bill Tompkins, of Draco tanker ships spraying uh,
Hmm.
neurotoxins. So what they've
Yeah.
done is, that's why you're like, how come people aren't doing anything? Because they can't, because they've damaged the prefrontal cortex. What they did was prevent. They've suppressed most of the Terran's ability to actually resist at this point.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. There's no reason, and the delusions of,
Hmm.
they want you just to sit back and heal your inner self and talk to, your higher whatever, blah, blah, bullshit. It's just because then you're just sitting there. Oh, I can change the world if I just focus. It's like,
Yeah.
showing,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
that's the intelligence. The enemy is going, great.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
then I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Courtney Brown.
Yes, Courtney.
Oh, okay, yeah, and I don't know your thoughts on him, but I was listening to Bashar for some time, and I still do. I'm very open, I'm just got here basically, so I'm not like this or that. I'm just kind of like, and our family was former diplomats, so I'm always into taking in information, so it's like information can come from the left, the right, the up or down. It's just getting
Yeah,
intelligence, so I was very shocked when I heard Dr. Courtney Brown. He was like the first person that I heard kind of take a shot at Bashar basically, and
yeah,
he was just like his issue with Bashar is because well, just one of the things that I heard that was very prevalent was he said, they basically keep kicking the can down.
yeah.
And I think Bashar was saying like 2027.
2027, the year everything changes.
And then I just saw a video a couple days ago where Bashar is saying 2033 something has
Oh,
happened. So I'm just like, man, and this is why our
yeah.
community, we live in a new earth now reality. So we're not waiting. We are the new earth, bringing it now onto earth. So we're tired of playing these games and something has changed, because we're here. So that's really the reality that we're living in. And I'm just like, man, it just seems like a whole bunch of BS, So hearing you speak, it was very resonant for me because it was just like, yeah, it's great to be positive, and I'm a fan of meditation and all of those other things, but you know, we need to be doing something more than just like hoping.
Well, and you just explained it. I mean, okay, wait a minute. So they're saying, whoever the new age group is, that we're supposed to just meditate, sit down, and just be like, we can rise ourselves through some kind of vibrational thing out
Hmm.
of this. It's like, well, if that were true, then why? And the ETs, of course, are advanced, and they know more than we do, and they're here to, like, they're just going to watch while we somehow raise ourselves up, blah, blah. It's like, okay, well, that's interesting. Then why are they fighting upstairs? And why aren't they just raising themselves out of all of the galactic battles that's been going on forever?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's
It, once you start breaking it down, it makes no sense. And the thing is, you hit a lot of backlash because there is a lot of money to be made
mm-hmm.
Mm.
by basically creating these new religions, and they're cults. That's what they are. And that's what but if you go back through the history of the counter argument for the disclosure, which disclosure itself is a CIA thing. That is not, we use the term, but it's them who created disclosure. So if you go
Wow.
back to like the 80s and 90s, you'll see that when the crop circles were happening, when the major like full-on contactees were coming forward, that was when the counterintelligence came forward with the entire New Age Jerusalem ship type channeling. All that came
Mm.
out. You didn't have it before with your Adamski, your Meyer, your Menger, your Albert Coe, Paul Villa, blah, blah, right? During
Mm-hmm.
the 50s, you didn't have that. You just had people who actually had physical contact with physical proof that's been verified.
Mm-hmm.
You shift to very little physical contact. You shift into the age of the abductions, which I've always thrown out there. This is why I quit. One of the reasons I quit. It is illegal to abduct for nefarious purposes or against anyone's will someone.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of thousands of people are being abducted a year.
Wow.
So why
Wow.
didn't the Galactic Federation and other these so-called alliance of benevolent groups, why didn't they interfere? Why didn't they? That's illegal.
Yeah.
That's like you see somebody, you're looking out your window and your car's there and there's somebody smashing the window in your car and robbing your car. You call
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
the police come and they just watch. Yeah, we're here. Yeah, somebody robbed the car. Yeah, we're just, yeah, yeah. Well, you just gotta, you gotta raise your, Reginald, you gotta raise your vibration.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Exactly.
You'd be like, what the, what? And
Yeah.
this is the nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always some kind of explanation as to why they don't get involved. It's nonsense. They're not getting involved because of this.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because they don't want to. So the problem with these federations upstairs and all these different, there's many groups, not just one. And they're made up of many different races and beings. Some of those races and beings eat Terrans and use them for mining or whatever, right? This is a resource for them. They
Mm-hmm.
see them as animals. Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
This is the one thing people have to get through their head. There are many, not all, but there are many races up there that see the beings on this planet as animals. So you
Wow.
have the benevolence who are basically coming forward trying to say, no, they're people. And no, they shouldn't be in this. It's the victims, blah, blah, blah. But the other group's like, yeah, but I like bacon. That's basically what's happening.
Yeah. And I just told Eber
Wow.
this too, not too long ago. Like just theoretically, I said, because my diet has been changing. I still eat meat, but I was just saying, like, imagine if there are other races that eat humans, like you just,
Mm,
and
yeah,
then
that's true.
here you are confirming it.
100% they eat people. Yeah, they mostly, yeah. Well, this is,
Wow.
Oh,
we gotta watch.
wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoops. But yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. That's so in order, it's like a United Nations up there, see? So you have to kind of like find a common ground, agree to disagree, all this kind of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of your corporations, the big corporations, I won't name names because we don't want to get, but there are major, and you can just assume, right? Any of your
Yeah.
major New York Stock Exchange groups, businesses, whatever, are off planet.
Wow.
They have
Mm.
similar they're interstellar corporations. They're also off planet.
Powerful.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
all about, exchange of goods and producing things and, GDP, intergalactic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where so there's a lot of beings upstairs that know this is wrong, but it's easier just to kind of look the other way. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
And,
very powerful. Go ahead, Eber.
yeah, and you talk about like the war upstairs. Like, what is this war about?
Stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff. Taking, you got stuff, I want your stuff. And in
Wow.
pyramids, it's the same as everywhere. It's just.
Wow. And then and you talk about these groups. Are they like just Anunnakis, like Greys? Are we talking about those type of?
There's interstellar space, Right. So there are groups like the Alpha Draconis. People are familiar with them. So that's another planet that's actually in a worse case scenario than Earth.
Mm.
So
Mm.
we have the Cabal that runs the Alpha Draconis, right? The Draco. So they're
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sikaar, what do you call them? Their leaders are like ours, terrible. You know, but they absolutely brutalize their population. You have
Wow.
many from that system that flee if they're lucky,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
flee and they want to fight. So it's not a right or wrong thing. It's just their culture is one of dog eat dog, just like ours. What you see around you here, step on whoever you have to step on to get ahead. This actually
Mm.
the Draco culture is what is here on Earth. This is what is programmed through the school systems into the children, and also in later on the economic and business systems that you have to step. There's competition that has to get removed. That's why you have sports. Sports aren't
Mm-hmm.
there to have fun. Sports are there to drill into people's heads that you have to beat somebody up to be a winner.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
Draco. Now on the well, and you I can't say there's too much of a difference because they kill each other up there. But you have the same thing here.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's all been engineered. Poverty's all been engineered. All of this has been engineered in order to keep the Terrans fighting amongst themselves, ripping each other to pieces, wars, you name it. The whole planet is basically under people think New Age order. It's already a New Age order.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Everything you see here is a play. It's an orchestrated thing. Just to keep
Yeah.
everybody fighting at each other. So we're the cattle. That's
Yeah.
Wow.
I
It's
remember hearing somebody not too long ago. I think he was actually taken out. I can't remember his name. It was like on an Instagram video, but he was part of the
yeah.
stuff, he was saying, and he was saying, um, you know, that they would have him have sex with other people, and while they were using their sexual energy,
Oh
they would
yeah.
be building businesses using their sexual energy to build businesses, these hire people up. And he said exactly kind of what you said, that they've created so many things to create division, whether it's religion,
Yep.
sports. And he basically was saying they don't care. Politics was another one. He said they don't care where you stand. They just want you to be polarized. They just want you to stand somewhere, and you're just hitting it right on the head, man. And like I said, man, this is just a
I
bunch
don't
of
vote.
bullshit, man.
There's no point in voting. People say, "Oh, you gotta vote." It might matter in a small town or something where there's regular people running and you know the person.
Hmm.
But again,
yeah.
maybe they get a knock on the door. Maybe they get an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah.
So I, I never blame someone like this person, like, okay, that person's a fraud, whatever. Yeah, but you don't know what's behind it. They may be
Hmm.
a regular person just like us because any one of us can get a knock on the door.
Yeah.
They're going to say, hey, we love what you do. You guys are awesome. But if you ever say this or that again, then they'll show you child porn on your computer. They're going to get you in jail, or they'll show you your husband or wife or family or whatever, and they'll be like, "Yeah, it would be a shame if something were to happen." That's what.
Yeah. Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mm.
And they'll give
Yeah.
you money too. They'll probably give you a couple 100,000, or depending on how valuable you are, they'll give you a honey pot and a threat.
I gotta talk to my people. My people. What's up, y'all? I just want to say thank you so much. If you guys knew what this whole thing goes into with us putting together this production, I can't help but just thank you guys enough. As you guys see, when we first recorded this, which was just weeks ago, we had 800 something subscribers that you can see we're celebrating within this podcast. At the same time, when we did the pre-video clip, we were at 1,000. We had just hit 1,000. And as we're now making this clip right now, we're already at 1,100. So I just want to say thank you so much for what it is that you guys do, what it is that you guys bring, that you're changing the whole thing. You're changing the whole world by us coming into this resonant frequency. And I'm also a believer of that which you observe, that which what you connect to is that what you become. So as one brand is becoming successful, as the one podcast is becoming successful, as one in general is becoming successful, it's because of you. And as you connect with us, you're becoming successful. So our success is your success because we are all one. So thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for connecting to this successful connection that we have within our one frequency. And as they say, you get apples from apple seeds. So everything is frequency. I'm a big believer myself of having abundance and subscribing. I subscribe actually to a lot of different channels. If it resonates with me, if I'm viewing it, if it's blessing me, I'm putting that energy out there because I'm overabundant. It doesn't cost me anything. So I just naturally subscribe. And I know that those things are changing the world as you guys are doing those things to us. So thank you very much again. And I also want to talk to our people that are subscribed and let you guys know our Patreon is booming. It's taking off right now. In fact, this message and invitation is for all of you that already know who we are and what we are bringing and doing with the One Movement as we bring awareness, remembrance, and undeniable awakening as we ground the new earth in a manner that has not been seen and is completely unparalleled. I just encourage you all as we're growing our Patreon. It's brand new, I know, but I'm encouraging you all to join our Patreon, not just for the exclusive behind the scenes and never before seen content, but also to really integrate and accelerate by connecting to that one community frequency. Your life, allow it to be transformed, your energy amplified, live at your highest. And also just know that when you're supporting us on Patreon, whether it's a paid tier or just there within our free community, you're on the front line of the great work of awakening and spreading the message of unity, peace, harmony, authenticity of the new earth. And you're also being a part of a community where everyone lives big and at their highest as God, unapologetically, unafraid, and unashamedly. So come join our Patreon. It's completely free for everyone. But for those that really want to be closest to the source of one, we have premium, co-creator tiers, and more that give you the absolute best seat in the house and even greater ways for you to acknowledge and be acknowledged by one as your own. So love you all. Thank you all so much for your time. We are absolutely one. All right, now let's go. That's powerful. I think I heard Rock Cloud too recently say something to the effect of like I think it was his experience, but he was saying that some reptilian beings had like come into his home and like interjected a thought, of like his family being tortured or killed or murdered, and they just put the thought in his mind, allowed him to visually see that what it is they put there,
Oh yeah.
as a way of trying to threaten him. And I thought that was a powerful thing as well. That there's all these different tactics like you're explaining.
And then what they would probably do is have him do it. They would completely control his mind and he would kill his
Hmm.
own family.
Yeah, that's
All,
a
Oh,
all around. That's what they do.
yeah.
oh
Anytime
wow.
you see something happen in the news, not always, but most of the time, that was mind control. And that technology is available. You can just Google it. The patents, you can Google you can actually see it being done. All the researchers like Dr. Ade, yada yada. I mean, it is like, yeah, it's everywhere. It's just right now that they're not using it.
Hmm.
They can take down every one of us. And if
Yeah.
they can either kill you outright or completely take over your mind.
Yeah, that's very powerful because
Wow.
I've heard literally somebody just recently say that, the reason why they stopped answering the phones or being on the phones is because they were part of some government program and all the government would have to do is give like a trigger word or a code, and that trigger word code would make them like go to a certain location,
Yep.
get an envelope, and that envelope would tell them to go to this airport. They'd go to that airport, meet somebody there, board a plane, all based on this trigger word that was programmed. So it's amazing what you're saying right now.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, one of the great folks that just passed away again, well, she was same thing like James, was Renetta Jones. So Renetta Jones,
Mm,
she was valuable because she had actual medical images from x-rays and scans of all the chips in her head.
wow. Wow.
So if you go back onto Rob Khalil, or any, you just can look up Renetta Jones, but her claim to
Hmm.
fame, this is what she stepped forward to do, was to show people all of the Neuralink setup she had in her head. And like
Wow.
you can see it. You can,
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
yeah.
That's powerful.
Well,
Wow.
there's a lot of folks. So the medical industry shuts up. What generally happens is if they see this stuff, the people, the technicians they get taken aside.
Hmm.
Some of them,
Mm,
Wow.
because if
wow.
you're a medical technician and you're one of the regular muggles, and you're like, what the hell is that in your head?
Hmm.
It's like
Hmm.
wiring, right? They're like, so they're like, oh. Well, actually, a friend of mine had a little grain of rice in his thumb. He had an X-ray for arthritis or something, and they saw this. What the heck is a little white grain of it's a tracker.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard of people having
Oh,
those grain of rice
Oh yeah,
trackers too. And even me, I had this incident when I was younger, when I was 6 years old, where it was a birthday, my birthday party. In the middle of the night, I saw like this gray next to me. You know, and I just remember jumping out of the bed, running into my parents' room, screaming.
Right.
And even to this day, I've told Ebru, you know, because we're in a relationships, we're in a remote relationship, but not as remote as you and Eeka maybe. But
But there's a lot of us, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but you know, I would be laying down and I'll like hear something in my mind, like sounding like it's like a and I'm like, what's going on? Like, why am I hearing that? But I always just trace it back to that moment, you know, that I was 6 years old. So I've always wondered and felt like, you know, that I could potentially have something, you know, going on with myself as
Oh,
well.
you were abducted 100%. You were abducted many times.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I've
I,
had
wow.
multiple things.
that's what I help people with.
Yeah.
I teach people to enter their own subconscious and and unlock all of their own powers, all of who they are. No one can
Powerful.
give them.
Wow.
It's already in you. You just have to connect to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then they'll start going back and you start putting two and two together and the memories start flooding back because you've opened up parts of the subconscious that you've suppressed.
Yeah.
And then they start to pop in. And so yeah, when you get something like that, yeah, you're an abductee. Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
And then
Wow.
how do you help people with this? Do people go to your website or is there your
Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah.
page?
Yep, on my website, growingupalien.com. Yeah.
Okay.
So you basically remote view yourself.
Mm.
Mm.
So, I mean, you may start to unlock some things. So the Greys worked with the military. So
Okay.
some people are just Gray abductees, but the vast majority, in the hundreds and hundred, probably millions, are military in conjunction with the Gray. So they didn't just take you. So the story was the Greys would take you for their own interest. No, 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 no. They were working with the military because
Mm.
this is about weaponization, cloning, genetic work, you name hybridization, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you were taken up, and you probably, if you weren't with the Greys, more likely they were doing everything you can imagine. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, but
Yeah,
is there a
that's a
way,
nervous laugh.
like, is there a way where you're talking about all this mind control or just these games being played? Is there a way, is there something we can do to kind of like avoid this or just like get out of it or stop it or just something?
No. So that abductions with the Greys, in fact, is gone now. I don't know if there's some pockets here and there. So that's the problem. We never get real intel, but I do know that it's pretty much gone.
Mm.
Hmm.
Some abductions, and there were some residual like animal mutilations. We suspect that was military trying to keep up the story. It didn't work, so I don't think there's been. I have to look it up, but I don't think in the past few years there's been any more animal mutilations.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's some curious things that have been going on, and to be fair, Eco himself was abducted. He's a multiple abductee. Other
Mhm.
extraterrestrial people are also, because we're all the same. We're all ETs. We're all, there are humanoids that are being abducted, have been abducted on other planets or in space or what have you. So it isn't just a human thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, the question is, why was it allowed to happen?
Mm.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And that's a very good point that you were making too, where you were saying if, you know, our planet is being, like I was just listening to somebody channel and they were saying how we have, members of the Galactic Federation off of, over on the Tampa military base area. So they're around in our area, in our field. It's not like they're off,
No,
somewhere extremely far. They're right around.
no,
So how are they being here and allowing this stuff to actually happen, witness this when this is against the, basically the code of ethics or,
so
it's
that's a joke.
illegal.
That's a joke. So I
Yeah.
think we all know that laws don't, laws are a joke.
Mhm.
So that's been fixed. So the GFW at that time was a very compromised organization. So they were doing some pretty nasty stuff, and a lot of those people were arrested.
Mhm.
Mm.
So they were intimidating other members of the Federation, ET, right? You better shut up.
Mhm.
They were actually making deals with the cabal.
Wow.
So
Wow.
this concept of like there's the bad guys and the good guys, and it is kind of mixed up there,
Mhm.
It's very best way to describe it is like the Wild West, like
Mhm.
Mm.
with pirates, It's the
Yeah.
Wild West with pirates. So once you go up into
Wow.
space, the vastness, it's good luck to you, basically.
Yeah.
It's very lawless.
Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's a lot of like black market type stuff going on.
Mm.
Massive amount of black market type things, you know. So you have different places where there's like a Las Vegas type thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's your sex slaves, you know, that's the people with the children, that's the juice they get from the kids, you know. I don't want to say, I don't know if that's still okay on YouTube or not, but different, you know, hormones that are sold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
it, the well, and then that is in fact kicking sand in the face of those people who say the ETs are advanced. They're not. You know, where do you think
Mm-hmm.
the sex slaves? They're the same people that tell you that the ETs are so advanced and wonderful. Are the same
Mm-hmm.
ones that are telling you that there's sex slaves being sold into space. To who?
Yeah. ETs.
Well, they can't be because they're all wonderful. It's like,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
how does
Mm-hmm.
that work? I've always been surprised too at this fixation on clearing out the dumps.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we so fixated on only saving the children in the dumps? What about the children up that are on the crust?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Only children
Mm-hmm.
that are worth saving are in the dumps, but the ones that are suffering and being blown up and horrific experiences of how many children on the crust are living in abject poverty, are going through hell. Nobody gives a crap about them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good
Mm-hmm.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd be better off in the dumps where they could get rescued.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what are the hopes for the good like I know you said it's a mix of good ETs out
Yeah,
there as well. What are the hopes for the good ETs when it comes to humanity here on Earth? Like, is it
right.
have they just given up or are they just like
No.
okay.
So there's been quite a bit of action. There's been action, right? There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stalemates going on. This is a chess game. So we've had a lot of push now. So essentially, it's really the envoys and this we go starseed envoys, whatever, our family. So the GFW had lied. This is partially why so many people say, "Well, I'm an envoy, I'm a starseed, whoever," and I've been. Why am I being hit by the military? Why am I being my lab? Why blah blah, right? And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that makes no sense. Why aren't we protected? Because the GFW was compromised. They were fine with that, and they told our families that we are now fully integrated into this planet. We no longer know about them. We no longer are interested in them. So
Mm.
they basically told our families that just to walk away. And our families were devastated. It was a lie.
Wow.
We were
Mm.
dying. We were prisoners of war. So
Mm-hmm.
now all that's been revealed. Our families are pushing. They're like, oh my God, for you guys alone, right? And all the stars, there's 2.5 or around that, 2 million star seeds right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we have family upstairs. So they're pushing to get us out of here, so it's
Okay, wow. And then when you say pushing to get us out of here, is it just the star seeds they're pushing or is it all of humanity?
it may just be the stars. I don't at this moment, so they've separated out the rest, the Terrans from this planet. And
Mm-hmm.
because there's many different beings here, but the only ones that the ETs can work with really are the star seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
The original goal when I came here and when you guys came here, right, was to like liberate this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were naive and we didn't realize that, oh, wait a minute, there's a lot of trade going on. This is a money pit, basically. This is a great place to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mercenaries, right? The SSP are
Mm-hmm.
mercenaries. We didn't realize the economic impact that liberating Earth was going to have. So I think we were sold a bill of goods, to be honest. But that's been rectified to a point. They waited too long. The whole thing is it was so messed up, so mafia that now
Mm-hmm.
we're at a point where it's really going to be a difficult ontological shock, catastrophic experience for many of the people here. So we've been told do not get on any ships. So if there's any extraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now they said they're probably likely going to teleport you out. So because the psyops are so bad right now, they may very well have either or will make a clone or a mimic or a holographic experience to trick you into thinking that it's your family that's coming to get you.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
That
I
I mean,
actually
the technology of the deep state is unbelievable. It's like,
Yeah, yeah. I actually just saw something. I sent it to Abra. I don't know if she had a chance to look at it, but I believe it was just last week, and it was just talking about the same thing you're talking about as well, holographic
Oh yeah.
technology, and it was just showing, the different types of holographic technology that has been used, and then also just how it was used. And I think it was somebody, maybe even an ex-CIA director, who was just saying how one of the things that they had planned on doing, I think in Brazil at one point, was
Yes.
having like a holographic, depiction of Jesus, floating over like the city, to, incite some level of action, from the people or something. And
Yeah.
even the Charlie Kirk, they're talking about that being a holographic thing. And like the thing the guy was taking down was actually the holographic projector. Everybody sees him taking the camera and things.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's just amazing, like just what you're saying, and
Right.
what's out there.
You have right now you can't tell what's real and not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
I did launch some test runs in Brazil in the
Mm-hmm.
indigenous communities. Yeah.
Yeah.
With
Wow.
like fake ETs. It was
Mm-hmm.
military operatives. They actually killed people. They launched some stuff there. Yeah, to do like a
Wow.
blue beam of so that's what I don't think they're gonna. This is and I call a lot of these people who are with the new age and channeling ETs. Not all, like I said, but and it's not their fault. They're not bad people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I call them the Judas horses
Mm.
for folks who don't know.
Mm.
Judas. So when they're
Mm-hmm.
rounding up Mustangs, the wild Mustangs, they release domestic horses. So the domestic horse runs back to the farm because he wants to get back to where he's like, what the hell? I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I want to get home. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what they call a Judas horse. So the other horses see this horse. Looks like he knows where he's going. He's totally confident. So the Mustangs will go, hey, follow this guy, right? So that
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
leads them right into the cage. And that's what
Wow.
these a lot of these love and light ET contactees, my higher self, and all that bullshit that people come on with. They're not like
Yeah.
that's B2K.
Mm-hmm.
The ones talking to white hats. I asked Eka, I'm like, Eka, what are white hats? He has no idea.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
looking around, and if one can come forward, has anyone ever met a white hat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are they? Where are they? Name one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't. I asked him. He never. I mean, were there good people in the military? Yeah, of course. But is there some major? I've never. Who are they? Don't. It's like people are pulling things out of the air.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they can be like fake ETs like walking around?
There's real ETs walking around, real visitors by the thousands. And there's also, I mean, I wouldn't, so it'd be like maybe the hybrids. There have been some, but the real ones, the real normal ETs are just like us. It's going to be like sitting down with a regular person. They may just be really
Mm.
nice. Like, oh, I just met this person today. They were so nice. And they have a nice little vibe about it. Like, oh, that was just but they're very down to earth. They like to joke. They're very friendly. They're not like you see when they're always like, hi, I'm Borg, and I'm glowing, and I'm here to.
Yeah.
And you have to be like the virgin in the forest waiting for a unicorn. That's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I have craft over my house every night.
I've seen your photos and your videos as
Wow. Yeah,
well.
yeah.
I don't do
Powerful.
anything. I have, and I get, this is why I work with a lot of different people.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, hey, I'm part of this group, and there's this guy who sees all the UFOs, and he calls them in. They said that guy's like V2K. Like, I'm like, I know. Anyone who tells you you have to like meditate and do all these things to bring it to call in, first, you don't call in a UFO.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, they're doing something. These people aren't joyriding.
Mm-hmm.
A lot
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
of the military. And if they're not, if they are extraterrestrial craft, they would be here under military, they would GFW or something
Yeah.
on business. And they're flying over you on business. They're not going to make a detour.
Mm-hmm.
So all of your contactees, like Adamski and Menger, whatever, right? Those were already preordained.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's how those things work. You can't like calling in some, magical. No, it doesn't. That's nonsense. The problem is those people who believe in all the magic and have following all the cult. They're the ones that are going. I feel are going to be in grave danger.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Wow.
And
Wow.
when what do you mean when you say great danger?
Well, if they're all healing themselves and deluded, and they think that the ETs are all magical and the craft are the ETs. And in a blue beam situation, all the government would have to do is they're already primed. The Judas horses already primed them.
Mm-hmm.
The government would just
Mm.
have to bring a ship down, drag them on board, and that's the last you see them.
Oh my God.
Oh.
And no one's
Yeah.
going to arrest you. I mean, I don't know. You're probably, I mean, they could do anything they want with you. They could,
Yeah.
lucky if they kill you. Otherwise, they're going to experiment with you, or they're going to sell you off, and you're going to work on a mining. You're going to be a mercenary. You're going to be a sex slave. You're going to,
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So the craft that you're seeing over your place, what are your thoughts related to those craft that are over your home all the time?
some are mixed, some military and some, ET.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some are interesting. Some are like plasma craft,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
anybody in this airspace. So they have to be a certain footage about, they can't be in our airspace unless they're
Mm-hmm.
given the right to be in our airspace because they can't, this is again the Cabal's planet. So
Mm-hmm.
usually if it's not always, because I had a craft was, oh boy, 3 or 4 years ago. I was leaving Worcester. So there's a town called Boylston, and it was 11 o'clock in the morning. My mom was driving, and there was a scout ship, just like the one you see on Billy Myers. It was just above the tree line, coming up, following up my car. My mom,
Wow.
just following. I didn't say anything because I didn't know my mom. I hadn't talked to her. I never told anyone about any of this stuff ever.
Mm-hmm.
There was just a compelling inside me that shh, don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was following low right above it, followed us for several miles. And I talked to her.
Wow.
I said, are you military? That was a stupid question. I said, are you military? And they're like, no, we just dropped somebody off. I'm like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
We had
Wow.
a Corendai ship because the Corendai people have a base here in Massachusetts under the Berkshire. So
Mm.
Bob Renault is a wonderful contactee. He was a radio operator out in the Berkshires. So Bob Renault actually married a Corendai woman, and he
Mm.
lives on the Corridor now. There's photos of the planet Corridor. So this is
Mm.
the thing with I always tell people about photography, right? You can get photography off planet. You can get photography on a ship.
Mm.
Mm.
You just have to use film camera, and you can buy on Amazon. So this is if for most people, you never know what's going to happen, right? But if you're one of these people that goes on ships all the time and you know when you're going, simply have a Polaroid camera with you or any kind of old-fashioned film camera.
Wow.
You can take the pictures.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, there's pictures out there from other planets. There's pictures, Howard Menger has video of the moon. He actually went to the moon.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all. I always tell people, stop watching the stuff you're seeing now, because the majority of that's psyop. Go back and look at the original people from the 20s, the 40s, 50s, 60s, right? You're going to see the real deal because we had no AI there. We had no way to really fake anything.
Mm-hmm.
Most of their photographs have been analyzed.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, this can't be. You look at Billy Meyer. He has the sound from Samyasi's craft. But
Wow.
he analyzed that, and he says that's a gravity wave. So what you're hearing is gravity waves. So
Wow.
the real evidence is there if you go to the past. And if you spend a lot of time there and start to work your way forward, you'll start to put pieces together.
Mm.
For the PSYOP campaigns. They're pretty stupid. They're still rehashing the stuff from the 80s. Well, it worked, so it makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Commandeer contactees, commandeer channelers, give them a bunch of baloney and let them, and then raise their channels up, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. The real deal people who are the real contactees, most of them won't come forward. They will not come forward. But if they do come forward, they're going to be limited in the number of people that are going to have access. They're going to be, blacklisted basically.
Yeah.
So that's where you are really today.
Wow.
Wow.
Are you familiar with Dr. Stephen Greer?
I don't know Stephen Greer. No,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
familiar with his books. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And I was just saying that because, him and kind of another guy who's spoken out, Lou Elizondo, they're
Yes.
kind of both pointing at each other saying like, this guy is a fake, no, that guy's a fake. And, it just, like you said, it's just one of those things of like, what's really the truth, what's really real. you know.
Well, I just tell people, look out your window. Well, I mean, so to be fair, Stephen Greer's interviews and testimonies are real, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever he is, I don't know him personally, so I don't know. But the
Mm-hmm.
work that he's done is legit.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's
Mm.
an interview with somebody, just like what you're doing, what I do, right? It's an interview, so it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, I think it's handy, all this stuff. I think, but we haven't moved forward.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, we know blah, blah, blah. We know stuff's real. If you ask your average person on the street, are we alone in the universe? No, they know we're not alone in the universe, but they don't give a crap because what does it matter? It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
nothing's actually, you still gotta kill yourself. You still gotta work 500 hours a week. You still gotta pay your rent. You still people are really hurting right now, and that's on purpose. That's
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
um. So contact is going to have to be something that brings amelioration because the people on this planet deserve to not be poisoned, to have clean water
Mm-hmm.
for their food. They need to
Exactly.
be able to have food. They need to have a social worker to help clean up all the problems that's here. You need to help people who have been forced to take drugs, basically. That's forced. So it's just a social worker's nightmare on this planet of a bunch of humans that are, in really bad situations. And it's crazy. To just drives me crazy when people say that they don't deserve help, like they have to earn it. Wow. I'm sorry, but
Mm-hmm.
you're an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
Yeah.
What? You're gonna
Yeah.
walk by a starving child and be like, oh, that's their life path. You're a
Mm.
lunatic.
Yeah.
You're just unless they're in a dump. If they're in the
Mm-hmm.
dumps, oh, we gotta save them. But the kid who's starving over here, no, that's their life path. Like
Yeah, yeah.
none of this stuff rolls out. And it's really based on a suppression. This is the thing that just grinds my gears. A suppression of compassion,
Mm-hmm.
not giving a shit about anyone
Mm-hmm.
else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what the ego, and I don't blame the person because they're being controlled.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
They can completely change your personality and everything, but a lot of what you're hearing in all of these channels with the ETs, I call them the glowing ETs, the bullshit channels.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about suppressing compassion and not caring about other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
So
what
are we all basically controlled?
we can be. We can
Yeah.
be. I
What
mean,
what
yeah.
what actions would you tell people to take, that want to remain liberated, and really want to, advance and move forward, positively?
I think is think number one. Use
Mm-hmm.
reason. And I understand this is what they were trying to do in the psyop, right? And it's true, yes, the heart has it is connected to the brain. There is that coherent, and there is, So Eeka says, look, you need to understand. He says, would you get into a car that had an engine but no steering wheel? So what he
Mm-hmm.
tells people is you use your entire body, use your reasoning. I call it little gray cells. He says, use your reasoning, use your inner knowing,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't throw away that cognitive, that analytical function.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I question some of these people. I'm like, are you even think? There's no thought. There's no I. It's like, what's your IQ?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's like, how can you? Well, they're in a cult. See, a lot of these people are fully involved in the cult, and when you're talking to them, they just reiterate, they regurgitate these canons of
Mm-hmm.
doctrine,
Mm-hmm.
and it's frightening.
Mm-hmm.
You feel bad for them. I'm like, you're screwed. But you have to think. You have to use reasoning, and that will be the key thing. Like if you do meet an extraterrestrial, they're going to be a regular person. And you'll feel that, and you'll feel that same way you feel when you meet somebody. You're like, hey, this is person, I like this person. Or you meet somebody, you're like, yeah, no, I don't. There's something fishy, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
have that. But using that, putting things together when things don't make sense. But
Mm-hmm.
being a leader, not a follower.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
can like someone, right? I mean, I got nothing against Stephen Greer. I like Stephen. I mean, I got nothing against him. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have nothing against them, any of these people.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not my leaders. You know,
Yeah.
Mm.
Exactly.
I
Have
just
you?
listen to them. I enjoy entertainment, whatever. If we agree to disagree, that's fine, and I walk
Mm-hmm.
away. But everything
Yeah.
else comes from analysis. And if the mind control devices are used, there's really nothing you can do.
Yeah, yeah. And
You know,
I don't know if you've heard of the recent documentary. It's been like #1 on Amazon Prime, Age of Disclosure, that just recently came out. It's got a lot of interest, you know, it's like as far as people now accepting the fact that, you know, we're not alone in the universe. Dr. Stephen Greer has come out and called it the Age of Deception, you know, calling the documentary. And you know, he says it's basically not sharing too much new stuff.
not,
And he also just was just shedding a lot of different you know, different light on it, you know. So I was just you know, interested in just your awareness of the documentary. And
nothing.
yeah.
What he said, it's garbage. It's the same. We haven't progressed in what, 70 years? It's the same story.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
like there's like derp, you know, I mean, there's just it's the can kick, it's the same
Mm-hmm.
nonsense.
Yeah, yeah.
We haven't progressed in decades. The same thing with Steven Spielberg film. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we've been having everybody's, oh, this is going to be it. No, what do you mean it's going to be it? We've been watching space sci-fi for decades.
Mm-hmm.
There was
Yeah.
all rage in the 1950s. There was actually quite a bit of sightings. A lot of them were actually Nazi
Mm.
craft, because that's when the
Wow.
United States always went.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there was a wave of interest in UFOs, 47 actually, right? And after that, in the 50s,
Mm-hmm.
huge, huge. All the movies are coming out, you know, The Day the Earth Stood Still, blah, blah, blah. And then it went on, even then he started to have the crop circles, and people were engaged in that. So there's always been quite a bit of interest, but there's been sort of a hills and valleys of surges. I don't know what the psyop behind that is. I suspect it's part of the kick the can thing. But
Yeah.
all they're
Mm.
doing is looping back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one of the things that Dr. Stephen Greer talked about too, which I actually thought was very unique
Yeah.
before I even heard him say it, was he was just saying how isn't, you know, wouldn't you think it's very unique for the government to kind of ignore these things, but then all of a sudden that the Age of Disclosure documentary comes out and it's talked about on like CNN, Fox, you know, all these major news networks, you know, like why would it be being pushed so much? And Dr. Stephen Greer, I believe he's saying that the campaign is going towards like trying to create a world of hostility towards
Yes.
extraterrestrials so that, you know, people will now kind of run towards the government, you know, like you said,
Mm.
Yes.
you know, running
Exactly.
towards home, you know,
Yes.
as opposed to trusting the ET content as being a place of liberation.
Yes, this is part of the blue beam. That's what I suspect, is that they're all, and I've had weird visions of
Hmm.
large amounts of ships that actually shoot on people.
Wow.
So Greer is partially right. The any ETs that would come in here now, actual visitors, will not fire on civilians.
Hmm.
So all they have to do, and I'll be curious to see what some of these movies are going to be like as they move forward. They never show the vast majority of ET contact is humanoid.
Hmm.
But none of these movies ever show a person.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Show a gray. That's the not all grays are. There's a lot of great loving grays. There's some great grays, but why are they trying to push ETs as something weird looking? You know,
Hmm.
you're
Hmm.
not going to see them. You're going to see the humans.
Yeah.
So it's really strange. They always have to make something you look like alien, right? And
Hmm.
Mhm.
just makes all of us crazy. And it's like, but I think, and this is my guess, is that I don't know if they'll pull it off, but they're planning like a messianic blue beam.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they have, so the government has, I mean, obviously, the people that run this planet are interstellar. They have motherships. They have the same technology that everybody else has. So as we look at the world now, you, me, and all the rest of the Terrans, all in this soup pot, we're basically living in the 1600s. I mean, we're living in the technology our masters have is 1,000 or more years into the future.
Wow.
They're
Wow.
interstellar. They have, you know, it's a type of scale. It's a weird type of frequency-based technology that they can use to read people's, you know, read and scan and everything. So every technology that they have is basically what we would call galactic or exotic tech. They have
Hmm.
everything. We have nothing. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's like us going back to the 1600s. We would have all this tech, people in the 1600s. We're living like that. It's
Wow.
I can't stress how in the gutter they have us.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We are like Stone Age. That's how bad it is. This tech we're using now is trash. The health,
Wow.
be careful, but the healthcare, the farmy, I'll just say that. So you don't get the
Mm-hmm.
farmy,
Mm-hmm.
that is garbage from, it's barbaric and it's from the petroleum industry.
Wow.
They understand all the tech that can be used. They've suppressed everything because they want to keep you sick. That's how they make money. That's how they,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to keep the cows dumb in the
Yeah.
field and not knowing it. That's how they do it. So,
Yeah.
already, this was from Colonel Ware. I try to get as much primary source information as I can. And Frank Chili is my contact because Frank Chili is older than us. Not to throw. Because he's older than us, he's actually met these people who are now dead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Colonel Ware told Frank, and Frank's telling me, hey, what kind of tech you got in the military? He says, Frank, he says, they're 1,500 years in the future. They're
Wow.
it's parallel to Pleiadian, if not superior.
Wow.
And that was many years ago when he told him that. So,
Wow. So all this technology is hidden on purpose.
of course.
Yeah. Is
So
then it agenda for when it will like be coming like where they will like present like new
never,
technology?
never, never. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like having that. So the there's a drip. I'm not sure what this is all about. There's been some dripping. So people who used to invent this stuff themselves, and Dave Rossi was one of them. The ones that just came out with had invented free energy in the 80s and 90s. The over unity. It's very simple. It's not a hard thing to do. When they started to go commercial, they were all killed. There's like 11 of them
Wow.
taken out. Now, people are coming forward now. That fellow in Zimbabwe making the car that's over Unity, he has a helicopter. He's actually building devices that are over Unity. He said that they tried to get him, but he must have amazing protection. How is he doing this? I don't know. So we also have Finland and a few other places, the Shetland Islands, that are beginning to bring out. Japan is working on stuff like this too. These little battery devices that act almost like over Unity.
Mm.
So
Mm.
the tech is being pushed. This is interesting. I don't know if that's just to kind of if this is part of the negotiations with the extraterrestrials. Like I said, I don't work there anymore, so I don't know what they're doing, and I never would have been given this intel anyway. Couple of things. We are moving forward. There's that.
Mm-hmm.
There could be that. The cabal has to fall first. The cabal has to fall.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in the negotiations, the ET says, yeah, you can keep farming them, but give them some perks. Maybe it's that.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something's happening. And I always tell people, forget about the ET shit. Look at the technology. Look at what kind of tech is being rolled out. That's where the proof is. That's where the evidence is. Because that's, to me, is right now, I'm not sure what this means, but it's intriguing. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Mm.
saw something recently, I think it was Japan that
Japan.
was saying that they had just recently found a way to increase life expectancy to like 250 years old,
Oh,
you
that's
know?
old. It's old news.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
They've been doing the 20 and backs for a while. I mean, yeah. Age regression tech is simple. They don't want. See, the problem is if you live to be 300, you're gonna smarten up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
say, wait a minute, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if this stuff, that's what I'm saying, this is intriguing. What's going on here?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Actual that we're winning the race, or again, is it? You have to look at. To me, again, being a Libra, I gotta look at 50
Mm-hmm.
different reasons as to why.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think you can't just be like, this is it. No, there's something going on though in the tech. That is 100% certain. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is this a part of like the disclosure? Is what they call disclosure? What is disclosure to you? Like what would your
PSYOP
definition?
is a PSYOP.
Mm.
Wow.
Until we get rid of the cabal, until you don't see business as usual on the street, the cabal's
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
If you're working a shit job, if you're still paying rent, if you're still buying food, you don't have to do that. That's all created. That's all an illusion.
Yeah,
Wow.
how do we kick over the
Yeah.
the fucking cabal, like
Yeah.
The
you know,
problem is the majority of the people on this planet are not going to.
yeah, like when you watch the movie The Matrix, they literally say that people will fight defending it,
Yes, they
and
will. Yeah.
yeah. hmm Matter
I
of
mean,
fact, I just told somebody the other day because we had had met with a channeler, and the channeler had also talked about how to remove like the COVID vaccine from the body, like supplements that you can take. And I had just showed this person a video. It was like on Economic Times, and it was like the senior authors of the autopsy reports for the COVID vaccine, people that took the COVID vaccine, and they were basically testifying before Congress that I think 70, 80, 90% of the deaths were related to the COVID vaccine, and there was no warning on the COVID vaccine that people could die. So I let this person watch this, and after the person watched this, they were like, "Wow," because this person had got the vaccine. And I told them that I talked to an extraterrestrial that said how to remove the vaccine from their body. And I asked them, I said, "Do you want me to tell you how you can remove it from your body?" They were like, "No." I'm just like, "What? What? What are we talking about?"
these these things have been going on for decades.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah,
none of them are. You have to give us YouTube. So those things are not what they are saying they are.
yeah,
So
yeah.
with the COVID, I mean, you're basically looking at Nuremberg Code violations. They've been doing Nuremberg Code violations for decades.
Wow.
MK Ultra was a Nuremberg Code violation. They were spraying different toxins in the air, and I'm not making this up. This is actually these are projects that are published in government archives.
Mm,
They've been testing stuff on populations without the population's knowledge for decades. That's a
wow.
post Nuremberg Code. If you start, that's why I tell people, start doing the research. MK Ultra is not magic. MK Ultra was real, is real. Everyone
hmm
knows it's real.
Yeah.
That was testing on people. Have been
Yeah.
testing not only on the military, but on civilians. That you cannot do that. They've been doing that for decades. It's so finally now you're starting to see these things kind of roll out and people are stepping forward.
Yeah. Powerful. Yeah.
Wow.
What is your diet like, doctor? I know you're staying on a farm, what does your diet look like, just in general?
Mediterranean.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That was my question. And then speaking of the farm that you're that you're working or living on, what kind of farm is it, because I saw in your profile you had the roosters or those roosters. So it looks like you got some animal activity there. Are you growing crops too as well?
Yeah. So we do mostly just for us, vegetables, and then I run a chicken rescue. So the rescue are the chickens are our rescue animals.
Oh,
But
okay.
I have a few that are mine that I like to take in endangered breeds just as have we're losing a lot of endangered domestic type animals, so I try to keep them in. But and the same with the horses, they're colonial Spanish. There are only about 2,000 left in the world, so I have colonial.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Wow. Do you have any advice to people's like diet? Is this something like good to eat or to avoid or something?
Yeah, I mean, I always say go back to the original diets of, I call it ethnic diets. What ancestor, what your family, whatever trace or pick an ethnicity that you like, but go back to the original stuff before. Nope, zero processed foods.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, real. You could think about maybe in the 1940s, right? Pick a culture
Yeah.
that you appeal. If you like Indian food, right? Go back to look at Indian food. What were they eating? If you look at what people were eating back in the day, that's the kind of food you should be eating.
Mm.
Homemade, not processed. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. You know. So that's key. Olive oil, stuff like that. I mean, that's virgin, right? Don't
Mm-hmm.
buy stuff that's been chemically processed. You can buy candy. I just bought some candy. Organic, real. You can make your own candy. It's just a pain to make candy. What's in candy, right? Just sugar, natural colors from plants, from beets, whatever, and a flavor that's natural, like mint oil or something. That's
Mm.
candy. There's nothing wrong with that. We have candy on Pleiades. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
so it's it's just using common sense, using your body, it's challenge on this planet because we are poisoned. The water, I use Epic water filter because they take out fluoride. It's one of the only few that does. There's so many
Mm.
water filters that you can put on your sink or whatever, and they don't take out fluoride.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like what the fun. So yeah, Epic does. So I use Epic. So as much as you can to take that out. I mean, it's just we're all in this together. It's all you can do. I mean, to try to survive. But there's a lot of people, and of course, I think there's a big joke that was been made, and it's like we have to pay extra to buy food that's organic that hasn't been sprayed with toxic chemicals.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good
And
point.
then I just heard recently too that it's still sprayed with like
You,
toxic chemicals, and then like Bill Gates, a pill, that he just got approved is now been approved for organic, fruits and vegetables. So it's
yeah,
just crazy.
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised they spray stuff anyway. Even you're an organic farmer, because a lot of
Hmm.
farmers don't want to. They understand it. I've always been in farming, not only back home on Arrow, but here. It's always been a passion of mine. But most farmers are real deal people. They're just stuck because you can't make. The problem is you can't make a living farming.
Yeah.
If you want,
Mm.
Hmm.
they've eradicated 70% of the farms in Massachusetts are now gone.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Wow.
they made it impossible for people to actually farm. And there's
Wow.
regulations. Now,
Yeah.
unbelievable. Maine is the only state in the United States that has a right to food legislation bylaw.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that recently. Isn't that something
Wow.
that recently kind of passed?
Recently, yeah, people because people are fighting this.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want my neighbor's tomato plants, and I don't want to see a chicken. People are, but they've been mind controlled.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Your
Yeah.
average person is mind controlled to see farming as low. That's
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like the production of food is everything. And,
Hmm.
oh, why don't they just buy the food at the grocery store? Where do you think it comes from? Just
Yeah.
your average person is they've because of neuroplasticity and programming, all of this through the very dangerous school system. School is not school. It's a mind
Hmm.
control operation. And this
Yeah.
is really wedged into people's heads and has extremely damaging repercussions, not only, for themselves, but for all of us who are trying to,
Wow.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah. And this is years of programming, so you're
oh,
starting early.
Yeah.
you know,
Generations.
it's in the genes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So parents have been bred. This is an epigenetic. So there's echoes that happens in the genes. And this was done on purpose. So basically they've like, you think about Lord of the Rings when they created orcs, that's what
Hmm.
they did to the Terrans
Wow.
through epigenetics, through um, entropic breeding rather than negentropic breeding. So on Era, largely we breed negentropic, but on Earth, it's largely entropic. And that's on purpose, because if you look at everything here everything is made to suppress and distort.
Hmm.
Mm.
And humans can fix that.
Hmm.
Humans can fix it. You can a lot of these little things we can all fix, but what's happening is they're spraying people so that they don't have the prefrontal cortex, they don't resist, they don't think, don't poke the bear, hide in your cellar. That's your average person now, and that's because of the stuff they've been, using to degrade the brain.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much stuff that has just been
Yeah.
put out there, that misinformation, lies, and what are your thoughts too, Doctor, when it comes to the Earth being flat, that type of thing? Have you any awareness or thought into that?
That was actually one of the CIA propaganda campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
I would ask physicists because when you look about, okay, well, how are planets formed?
Mm-hmm.
So they're concretions, like a snowball.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying, someone could build a flat Earth,
Mm-hmm.
but it wouldn't be a natural planet. So
Yeah.
Mm.
natural planets, moons, whatever. Well, the moon is round, but I mean, that's not natural. But I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
generally it's going to be round because it's a bunch of stuff coming together.
Yeah.
So it could be an odd shape or something. There is I think a moon that has like it got hit with something and it has like
Mm-hmm.
it's a weird bean shape or something. But all planetary systems are naturally round or in that kind of a round shape because of how they're formed. So,
Hmm.
but I know that was a psyop from the CIA. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because I was just listening to something too yesterday where they were, I think it was Beyond the Frequency 369, where they were saying how, um, we've been told in school how like the sun is out, or when the moon is out, the sun is on the other side of the world, because those people need sunlight. And they were just saying how, like you were just saying, just takes logic because you can actually see the moon and the sun at the same time. You can look
Yeah,
up,
right. Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
right.
same
Mhm.
time and realize, okay, that's not actually the truth.
Right. I mean, that's, right. And we're seeing, just like again, it's just logic, right? And think about and try to learn some physics. And, there are a lot
Yeah,
of great people who are physicists that aren't the gatekeeper or the ones that are like, they drank the Kool-Aid. There are some phenomenal physicists out there those are the people that we need to ask questions of rather than
yeah.
guessing and talking to our higher self and calling in the Arcturians and whatever.
Hmm.
Ask a physicist. Like one of my questions was, will the moon, which was dragged here, will the moon
Hmm.
prevent a pole shift? Because
Mm.
that's what the moon does. It
Hmm.
stabilizes. I don't
Hmm.
know. You would have to do that. You have to have a physicist take a look at that. I don't know if they can answer that because they may need to know what's inside the Earth.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
We don't really know what some people say it's a crystal, some people say it's molten. I don't
Yeah.
think so. But again, you're talking science, so we got to figure out some way of like a physicist would have to figure that out. Like and probably do one. Okay, well, let's just say there is a molten core of the Earth. What would that mean with the gravitational pull of the moon? All right, let's say that the center of the Earth is a crystal, is a core. It's hard. What would that mean? So
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
you have to ask a physicist these questions. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been fans of Dr. Tom Campbell, who's a physicist and who actually is an out-of-body explorer. And a lot of our community are out-of-body explorers or attempting to go out of
yes,
body. And in fact, Abru just recently went out of her body for the first time, maybe last month or so.
Yeah.
So, it for us, that's been a great thing for people
yeah.
just to see that there's more to
Oh
this
yeah.
reality than what we've been told. So it's been great. And
That's that's what they psyoped on top of because all that stuff's real.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
Bilocation's real, out of body experience is real. You can use your mind to leave the body and go through all kinds of different There's different universes like stacked books. All that stuff is real,
mm-hmm,
but they
mm-hmm,
don't
Mm.
really know it. So the counterintelligence kind of like hijacked it. So you got
mm-hmm.
it's like yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, and we normally, doctor, do these things, an hour, but I had a feeling this was going to go a lot longer, and I have a feeling it can go a whole nother hour. But
Yeah.
we really like to be respectful of everybody's time, as well of our audience. But we do also ask what we call our one questions, and
Oh,
we typically start off with those one questions. But we just went right into the action with you, and like I said, we've been excited for this. Opportunity to sit down with you for some time, so it didn't surprise me that we went right into it, but it's only like three or four questions or three, things that we go into, but one of the things that we call is our one question, and because we're the one podcast, we go where no other podcast has gone before, and with that going no other podcast has gone before, we like to go into places that maybe things that you haven't shared on any other podcast before. So, is there anything that you've shared? And it's actually 1111 as you're answering this question. And that's the time right now. So,
nice. Share a
yeah.
lot. Well, let's see. I haven't. Okay.
And look, it can be something very, very simple and basic. It can be, I like to cook artichoke hearts in the summer. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
very, philosophical or very detailed. It can be that as well. It can also be something that you just feel very heavily on your heart to share. I feel like, everybody needs to do this right now.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the one thing, boy, I've shared a lot, so it's kind of.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
I know I haven't shared this yet because but when I was young and when I was doing a lot of bilocations that I was working under Eeka when he was working out of California. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Well, it's 11:11 here in California, Baja California.
wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, he was the commander over me.
Oh, great, great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then so you guys are currently spoken for, even though you guys are in two different, I guess was it dimensions, realms, you
No, he's in
know.
California.
Oh, okay, physically.
Oh, okay.
Physically, yes. He's been
Oh, okay.
physically on Earth for about 15 years now.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
great, great, great. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So
The
you
humanoid ETs are physical humans like us.
okay. So are you guys able to communicate like on the telephone
But they
or
don't allow anything like that because if they want to kill him and they want to, mess up my life, which they've been doing for a very long time. So if they knew, like they know everything you're doing. If they knew we don't need a telephone because we can just communicate. But
hmm
um, if that were to happen, yeah, it would be it could be dangerous. Yeah.
Okay, great,
Wow.
great. Okay, because I was thinking he was out of this realm, but okay, so
He
great.
won't leave Earth. He's going to die here with me if that's the case.
Okay, great. And that leads us to our next one question,
Yeah.
which is also called one life. That when you look back on this one life, this incarnation, how would you want to know that it was spent? Your one life was spent.
Well, I came here to help animals.
Mm-hmm.
So still doing that. Um, just I think the song Simple Man by
Mm-hmm.
is it Leonard Skinner? That's kind of the way. Just I just want to live a very simple, quiet country. You know, just do whatever I can. I mean, my goal is to get out of here and go home because I want
Mm-hmm.
to go home. This is not my home. But looking back on it, I mean, I think I tried. So whatever happens from here, no regrets on I did the best that I knew of what I could do at the time here.
Are you a vegetarian by chance, or are you?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Eat eggs from them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, I just recently started eating meat again, but I've been doing a lot of vegetarian for the first time. I used to consider myself a straight eater, carnivore, and I literally was just telling Abru, like, as I'm eating the food now, I eat it with so much more respect, and even blessing, because really, especially when I was really into the vegetarian earlier this month, I probably just started eating again, maybe 6 weeks ago or something. It just relatively recently I started eating meat again, but I still eat vegetarian at the same time.
Yeah,
But it's just one of those things that I've just been very more understanding of this is consciousness,
right.
that we're taking, and it's a life, that
Yeah.
we're ending for the sole purpose of living, and it can just be a quick moment. It's not like my life is I'm gonna die if I don't eat this. It's more like, I've been accustomed to eating this,
Yeah,
so let's just and I literally use the analogy. That's how it came up with Abu recently when I just said, just imagine if there's another alien species that's eating humans. That
Yeah.
if you're seeing them, looking at us on the menu, or
yeah,
sometimes when you see like I saw somebody holding up two lobsters, and I'm like looking at it like that's a husband and a wife. You know what I mean? That these are actual, this is something
yeah.
that's real. So.
I mean, there are other races that do eat meat, so it's not like there shouldn't be any, like you always say, you shouldn't have shame, right? I mean, because
Hmm.
it is it's a personal kind of thing. But
Yeah.
in Terran bodies, some do need to eat some kind of protein source like that.
Hmm.
We could
Hmm.
create replicators for some people who would want to have that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
But you just have to you have to be careful because as long as it's organic and from a local farm, you don't want anything
Yeah.
that's not, again, because that's part of what they're well, it's hard to avoid. They're filled with
Hmm.
junk, but
Hmm.
there are, because of the structure on this planet and the survival. I mean, let me be honest, this is a survival planet,
Hmm.
Mm.
and your
Hmm.
body's structure and everything is built for this planet, and all of the, you may be Andromedan or something, right? But the body you're living in now is a Terran.
Hmm.
Like me, it's like all of us, we're in this Terran form. So
Hmm.
the cellular structure has been through millennia, and certainly through the last 1,000 years, manipulated genetically.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things that people need to take into account and not beat themselves up or be like, so it's
Okay, yeah,
Wow.
that's great. Yeah, yeah,
it's to
and
give
I've
up. It's point the fingers where I always said to everybody,
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
it's them. They need to go. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
really what we're here to do, man. To kick over the can, and stop kicking it down the street, kick it over, and
Yeah,
kick in the
exactly.
door, man.
painful.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then pretty much wrapping it up, we have two last points that we do. One is the one final question, and then we end it with the one meditation that we end each interview with. And the one final message is just asking you, what would your one final message be if this was going to be your last message, to Earth and humanity, your last transmission? What would you want to leave the world with?
I tell people to stop making themselves small and
Mm.
to realize how amazing every being is. Stop making
Yeah.
themselves small.
Beautiful,
Wow.
beautiful,
Beautiful.
and I'm all about that too because I was just recently saying, people sometimes are living so small, and they need to be living on the opposite spectrum. Realizing that they're the biggest. That they're here for a reason, and I couldn't agree with that message more, honestly.
Yep. Yep.
You know.
I learned that the hard way. I think we've all probably been through.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have a very powerful story, Doctor. And for us with the One podcast, we are bringing people on that already know who you are. So that's why we like to go into these little pockets of questions that haven't been explored before and go where no other podcast has gone before because we're bringing people on that if they haven't heard of you before, now they've heard of you. We're going to have your contact information and where they can find you in the description as well. So we definitely want to thank you for being here, and we end the interview now with just going into a meditational state where we basically, as I explained before, we live in the new earth now reality. So we just speak, and especially with our out of body explorers. One of the things that we've seen time and time again that they explain is when they're out of the body, they're seeing that their thoughts are coming out of their head. You know what I mean? So like they'll look in
Mm.
the bed and see their wife while she's dreaming. Thoughts are coming out of her head as she's dreaming, so they can see what it is she's dreaming about, what other people are thinking about. So it just confirms more of our thoughts create our reality, and also the importance of refraining from the programming that you can see. So if you're being told on the news everything is bad, a man was murdered last night by a child, you know what? Let me stay away from children. Let me stay away from men. Let me not go
Yeah.
outside. So we're just very meticulous when it comes to what we put our mind on. So this is why we like to unify in these moments at the end of every interview to come together as one community, one unity, one unified diversity, and really put our thoughts on the world that we see because we're in the new earth now reality. And again, we're not waiting on 2027, 2033, 2043.
Exactly. It's now.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. So we'll just go into that meditative state right now. And as we go into this state, for those that are listening for the first time, we call this our one breath, meaning as you breathe in right now, you're breathing in your inhale, holding it, exhaling it at your own pace. This is your one breath, your inhale, your holding it, your exhale, your one breath. That you're guiding your breath, you're holding your breath, you're exhaling your breath. So we're bringing that one breath in, holding it, exhaling it. You're doing it all according to you, your rhythm, your vibration, your rate. We just go deeper right now into our one breath, seeing a world that is liberated right now, a world that is illuminated right now by a greater light that is being shined on, that greater interviews like this. We see a world where Dr. Andrea Martin right now is having her message, expressed as her channel grows. We're just seeing a surrounding of people around her resonating with her message that are no longer content with feeling small, that everyone now
Mhm.
feels, illuminated and filled up with the light that she's giving and providing. And everyone knows that they're bigger than they've ever imagined. We see
Yes.
a world where everyone is just unified, coming together in unity and stronger than ever, and no longer willing to live in a world where they're being poisoned or manipulated or lied to. We
Mm.
see a world where truth reigns, transparency reigns.
Yes.
We see a world where everyone is coming together in their own individual expression, and everybody is all diverse in their thoughts and their actions, but appreciative of one another. We see a world where there is no sickness, where there is no disease. We see a world where, life doesn't necessarily have to die for others to live. We see
Mm.
a world where everything is just moving in a world of goodness and care.
We see a world with just love and compassion. There's no fear, there's no greed, there's no ego. We see a world where there's no just collaboration, just love, just great energy, no manipulation, no dishonesty, no corruption, all just love. The people express themselves and people living in the highest reality.
We see a world where there is no
Yeah,
talks of a cabal, where there is no talks of a minority, manipulating a majority. We see a world where it's nothing but goodness.
nothing but goodness.
And we're saying, so it is.
So it is.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. So we appreciate everybody tuning in, and we thank you all for your time. This has been another wonderful moment of the One Podcast. We thank you again, Doctor, so much for being here. It's been an absolute treat for us to have you. We would love to have you again sometime. And just thank you so much for everything that you bring to the masses, to the message and evolving Earth and humanity. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you so much for being here with the One Podcast. We are
Thank you so
one.
much. We love you.
Powerful.
Ooh,
Wow. Wow.
that was powerful. Very,
Great,
very
great
kind,
message.
very, very
Yeah.
kind
hmm
person.
Knew it was gonna be a good one.
Yeah,
Knew it
and
was
just
gonna
like
be a
that
good one.
energy she leaves after too. Like
Yeah,
there's
I
like this
know.
beautiful energy in the room,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. Exactly. You know,
I'm very
yeah,
excited.
yeah.
And I was actually gonna
Powerful.
I was actually gonna what do you call it? Thinking too like when we were like we remember we talked about meditation.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's kind of funny how we're like literally doing the meditation and we're just talking
Yeah.
about how all this meditation and you
Exactly.
know.
Exactly. Except for the reality is our one meditation is different, unlike any other meditation,
Exactly. Yeah,
because
yeah.
everybody's empowered with their own
That's
voice.
why it was great that you actually gave that,
Preface.
yeah,
hmm
first, just
Yeah.
so it doesn't sound like, oh, we're just doing it just to
Another
like
one
kind
thing
of
to
like
do.
look
Yeah.
smart, look
Yeah,
like we're
no,
doing
we
something.
mean this fucking shit. We ain't playing
This
no
is like,
fucking
yeah,
games. But you see what I
exactly.
mean? See how she's got that same energy as me? Stop playing the fucking
Yeah,
games,
exactly.
And I was listening to her on some other person she had a guest on, and I can't remember what it was that she said, but it was just like the person said, and just be this, and she was like, no, fuck that, be this, be that, like, what I mean, like rise up, you know what I mean, like don't look at being a victim, rise up, so it's just a
Wow,
very
yeah,
powerful,
yeah.
powerful
She
message,
has a very
man.
powerful energy.
Yeah, and
And
I'm
also,
excited to be on her show too. That was nice
yeah,
to
me
be
too.
invited. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
great. And also on a live as well. And I feel like there's so much stuff that that live is going to be great because it allow us to have those questions as well for her and
Mm-hmm.
have that just like this great
Interaction. Yeah,
interaction like
energy.
energy and then
Mm-hmm.
for her to be able to ask questions or just like have that
Yeah,
great conversation and energy.
yeah, yeah.
So
I'm not
tune in
fucking
to this
playing.
live when it happens. We'll
Yeah.
let you know.
Yeah, it's definitely coming, and it's already coming. By the time this video comes out, we probably may already have had the live.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the
You're right. You're
reality. That's
right.
the
You're right.
reality because looks like we're going to be doing it next Saturday, and we've already got, content lined up,
Yeah.
on that Sunday, for you
Yeah.
guys. So,
And see that's what happens. Like literally I got home and I felt this like how I was tired, just
mm-hmm.
like a lot of stuff. You're waking up early. And then I'm waking up. I feel super early compared to other people, but
Yeah,
around
exactly.
5 a.m. and stuff. But then you're
Mm-hmm.
like just like up until like you come back home, and I was like, I'm feeling tired. And you were telling me to rest, and
Mm-hmm.
I also
Yeah.
wanted to kind of be being sure that I was rested for this
Mm-hmm.
interview,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what happens all the time is that I'm feeling so tired. It's almost like I can just like go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm going into this interview, into this energy, you
Yeah.
know, this, it just like active, like
Zzz.
it does
Yeah.
something. So I'm
Yeah.
almost like I just had an energy drink, you
Yeah.
know, or just had coffee, or
Yeah.
I just had a good rest, because I'm always like up after
Yeah.
this interview
Yeah.
conversation we had with our guest.
So
So
one
I'm enjoying
podcast.
it. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like it has this energy, you know?
Yeah. These are top guests, and
Yeah.
it's like, like I've told you guys before, I'm not here just to put filler content in here.
No.
They've got to be fire guests. It's got to be somebody that fires me up. I've been
Yeah,
wanting to press
exactly.
fast forward, on
Yeah,
this
I mean,
date
that's
for
been
so
a long
long.
time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it was just we scheduled it maybe 2 or 3 weeks out, so it's not like
Mm.
this was 2 months waiting, but it was just like that. Just knowing it was 2 or 3 weeks out was too far. I was just ready to get here to this date, and
Yeah.
how fast we've been able to collapse time and be here is just so exciting.
Oh,
And
wow.
even the other top guests that we've got lined up for you all, man, is just
Oh,
nothing
my.
short of amazing.
Yeah.
You
Like,
guys
you
know.
don't know. You have no idea.
Yeah, and we've already, just to let you guys know, we've already secured communication. If you guys know, it was very difficult for us to secure communication with the Illuminati. So we've actually secured the communication with the Illuminati officially, and now we're just in the point of setting up a date. They've reached
Yeah.
out to us, telling us that they were interested in being on our podcast, and we reached out to them first. When we found that, hey, this is a person that's a member of the Illuminati. We want to know what the fuck is going on. What the fuck is the Illuminati? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, what is this? Like, we
Explain this.
always have this, like,
Yeah,
everybody, I feel like everybody has this
image,
idea and image
uh-huh,
of what Illuminati
picture.
is, and
Yeah,
pictures, you know?
idea, thought.
Idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So
what we've
now
been
we,
told.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. hmm
So that's going to be
hmm
very, very interesting and fire.
Super interesting. Another
Yeah.
exciting one.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna run
Another.
and jump into this and
Yes,
handle
let's
the
go.
business and just
Let's go.
know that he loves you.
Okay, love you.
TOP,
The One
the one
Podcast.
podcast.